Taking those deep breaths. Setting back, tuning into yourself. Let the information take you to where you want to be. Making conscious self-healthcare moves. Thank you for dancing and breathing with me today. Greetings in love and kindness, family. I'm Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, the one and only Conscious Self-Healthcare educator and host of the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation radio show. Every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Community, this is your time to share your wellness stories and how you move from disease care to conscious self-healthcare. I want to hear your story. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation each Wednesday. Call in and share how you shift out of chronic disease care stress. Right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. This is Dr. K, and I am looking forward to our conversation. So call in and share. Health is consciousness and healing is a function of consciousness. Come on, family. It's time to rock the world with the new frontier of conscious self-healthcare, while I share my wellness story with you right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. That's right, family. We gotta rock the world, making those conscious self-healthcare moves. Mental observation is essential for self-success. Taking those deep breaths, moving that body, taking the time to tune into yourself during this hour. Greetings, everyone. I gotta take a deep, deep breath on that. I am so thankful to have been introduced to that song sung by Chaka Khan. I am in love with myself because I know, family, community, and friends, you all know I am in love with myself. I've been sharing that message for so long. Self-love, self-care, self-respect, self-honor, self-knowledge, self-worth, all wrapped in self-assurance because I am in love with myself. So I have to thank my partner, my friend, Abdul-Malik, for sharing that one with me, which I know has been out for a minute, but I never heard it. And he came in the house one day and he put it on and he goes, Karen, 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 Karen. She's in love with herself. You got it right. And I'm thankful for you sharing that song with me, Brother Abdul-Malik. Thank you so very much. And now I've added into the lead song on my show, the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation Radio Show. I'm your host, Karen Khadija Abdul-Malik Davis-Foulks. Thank you for coming aboard the friendship train. We're on a Harriet Tubman's ride, and you know there's no ride like a Harriet Tubman's ride. To healthcare freedom, shifting out of chronic disease care stress. I say it's time to shift out of chronic disease care stress, step up out of the dark ages of disease care, and emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery by becoming your own wellness doctor. Why? Because you are in love with yourself. Self-care first. And the more you trust and know about your inner wealth, you'll know that you can truly become your own wellness doctor. And that's my journey here. So thank you for joining me today. 3/31/2021 Wellness Wednesday, right here on InnerlightRadio.com. The healing frequency. Yes, welcome to the new frontier of making conscious self-healthcare moves. Mental observation view is essential for self-success, which only means you got to tune into yourself. You got to not just believe, but you got to know within yourself to live beyond a man-made mindset of human consciousness. Yes, I often say, and as I say to myself, Karen, are you living from a man-made mindset of human consciousness? Wake up, child. Wake up, step back, and think about what you're thinking about. Because you may need to rethink that with some thinkonomics, which is a way of thinking that gives you the opportunity to learn the truth about yourself. Because sometimes you may have to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Oh, yes. I have a question for you. Do the media, the government determine how you care for your health and your life, your family, your friends, the doctors, the preacher? Are you making that decision for yourself for real? I trust in my inner wealth, as in know thyself. Do you know yourself for yourself, from yourself? The best thing that you can do is believe in yourself, knowing of yourself. Family, community, and friends, the way you speak to yourself matters more than the way someone else speaks to you. Can I hear you say, I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with myself. Say it for yourself. Speaking the laws of vibrational energy. We're talking about love. It's the power that brings my entire life together. Say it's the power that brings your entire life together. We know it heals, renews, restores, and empowers you with divine energy and life. Yes, it does for my life. I am love in action. I am love in action. I am love in action, and so are you. The master of positive self-expression. How are you expressing yourself? Is it always in love? I'm in love with myself. Self-care, self-respect. You got to have self-knowledge and self-understanding and knowing thyself, because the world can shift you off of that road. And we all do get shifts momentarily. But all we got to do is stop, sit back, be still, take a deep, deep breath, and know we are all here to be givers of and receivers of love. Love, 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 love. And remember, the energetic frequency of God did not create religion. Man did, to throw you off the understanding of love, the power within. Like Reverend Ike says, and I say as well, you are the master of your thought and mind. Tell your mind what to think. Tell your feelings what to feel. Tell your body how to react. Family, community, and friends, right now during this time of the year 2021, master your mind, master your feelings, master your thoughts. Don't lose that thought. Don't lose that understanding. Don't lose that knowing. You must tell your human holographic image what to do, how to act, and how to think. Call it insanity or call it sanity. Yes, we got to talk to this energetic being, this human body. We got to make it align and make it be one. And taking that deep, deep breath with that connection of life, of energy, of the positive expression that connects the physical body. The art of shift. Move from a disease care state of consciousness to a conscious self-healthcare state. If it's time for you to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal healthcare prescription plan, then you can do that here as we move together in understanding. To take a deep breath. And always, always let that breath remind you of the power of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system of the body. The purification system of the body. They call it the immune system. They wanted to merge it inside of it. But the lymphatic system will always stand on its own. It is supported by the breath of life. It gives it power. It gives it speed with movement to help purify the body like no other system. Taking a deep, deep breath and understanding that when you understand how your body works, you do not fear its functions. You have an understanding the same way that the medical profession is showing us today. Because doctors are no longer called doctors. I'm going to keep reminding you of that. They are called providers. They represent a provider. They represent a business. And they use that information of how the body works and all of its cellular malfunctions to put you in a state of confusion. But you don't live in a state of confusion because you know, because you are your own wellness doctor. The power is within you to be your own wellness doctor. So thank you for tuning in with me today, taking a deep, deep breath, taking a moment to call a friend and tell them to join in while I share with you just a little bit of information on the science of lymphology, cellular ecology. We're talking about taking control of your own life and your health in this period in time of life where we all are working through this understanding of covert, and I like to call it covert maskology because it matches what I share with you and have been sharing with you for over 30s, 40-something years. About the power of the miraculous self-healing body. So this March the 31st, 2021, as we getting ready to take that walk into April, known as Self-Healthcare and Lymphatic Cellular Wellness Month, with April 30th being Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day, which we will be celebrating our 11th year with our panel radio show right here on innerlightradio.com. I'm all wound up from hearing that song. I'm in love with myself. And my body is not vibrating as strong because I don't have the earphones on. I hope you don't hear a lot of distraction around me, but it works so much better for me because I'm dealing with the vibrations of energy, of frequency, of information. It's coming to me from all around, and just the natural vibrations of life. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this time that we're in. And I'm thankful for the message that was left to us by Baba Tim Morrow. Baba Tim Morrow of Common Sense University. You can ever get in and listen to any of his videos if they're out there on YouTube or anywhere. Listen to the divine understanding of Baba Tim Morrow sharing from the University of Common Sense. Yes, and they do have common sense products that were developed by Baba Tim Morrow. The message is simple, but the message is true, and the message is strong. Baba Tim Morrow left us with growing old does not make you sick. Growing old does not make you sick. Aging does not make you sick. He said growing old does not make you sick. It's growing sick that makes us old. You got to understand it's growing sick that makes us old. And that's why you must emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery, because we are not growing sick. We're having cellular malfunctions as part of the human experience, and we're going to have them. But when you understand the one basic formula for life, when you understand the power of the lymphatic system, not just talking about the lymph nodes that captures and helps the body purify itself from all the impurities that doesn't need to be there. The power of that system and knowing that you have the power to keep this body functioning at its highest level of optimal, that physiology, biology of the body. It's governed by the human body field, the fields of life. We as human beings are a field of life. So growing old does not make you sick. It's growing sick that makes us old by Tim Morrow. And you know, I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. They call me Reverend Karen Khadijah Abdul Malik Davis-Foulks. You know, I'm a conscious self-healthcare educator sharing the science of lymphology and cellular ecology to help you support your body with being in the best state that it can be. Because we will create cellular malfunctions, just like Karen created the malfunction of a stroke. Enough cells in her body, enough impurities in her body. The lymphatic system is not functioning well. Things got backed up, got some ponds within the body, trapped some things, and we created the cellular malfunction called a stroke. But we can correct that as we can correct any man-made given disease name of a situation that's occurring in our bodies. We can self-correct that when we understand the science of lymphology, cellular ecology. So today I'm going to share a little bit from a note card that I used to create. I used to create these note cards for the Arc of Self-Healing and Self-Help, my non-profit and profit entity, the Arc of Self-Healing and Self-Help, health education for longevity and peace. They were called Divine Health Connection for Advanced Holistic Help cards. And on this card right here, which I came across the other day, it helped me summarize a little bit more about the lymphatic system that you've been hearing me share from my book, Step Up Out of the Dark Ages of Disease Care, over the past 6 shows, counting back from this show right here. Hope you're hearing me well, and I hope you're not hearing a lot in the background. This is an open mic. So relax. We're 15 minutes into the show. We're probably 20 minutes into the show. And we do have some music for you. And as I share my commercials with you about the services that I offer you to become your own wellness doctor, to stay in charge of your health care, to know what's going on with your physical body, to know what's going on with your energetic body, to put those two things together so that you can do the best that you can do for your body with the information that you know. So take a deep breath with me. I'm going to share this quick information with you on the science of lymphology. And remember, you can always visit the website, consciousselfcare.com, CONSCIOUSELF care.com, to follow everything that I do. Peace and love as I share this with you. Sit back and take a deep, 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 deep breath. And I will. And I'm just going to run right through this information so I won't go over time as we're 25 minutes into the show. Lymphatic cellular wellness, lymphosizing therapy. You know, we have been lymphosizing on the trampoline because you sit back and you're taking a deep breath. You're lymphosizing, you're just relaxing, getting some rest as you hear the information and relate back to yourself what is good for you. We're talking about how to purify and activate the healing power in the body. People are being destroyed by diseases from the stagnated pond or the internal drowning of the cells that is taking place in their body. Lymphosizing was developed by the father of process healing, Dr. C. Samuel West, author of the Golden 7+1. The Golden 7+1 teaches the science of lymphology and the art of lymphosizing. While you lymphosize, you wash, clean, bathe, and purify the cells. This bioelectric energy is energy produced by the body, directly or indirectly, that can be used to dissipate trapped cluster proteins out of the damaged areas of the body. This information is not given to diagnose or prescribe. It is offered only as an explanation of how these techniques work and why they work. If these techniques are applied, it is done by virtue of free agency. As a result of the blood protein research, it can now be explained how and why bioelectric lymphosizing techniques work. Whether you completely understand the explanation or not, the one undisputed fact is, if used properly, it works, it is guaranteed. And that is using a trampoline to lymphosize, as we understand and know about cellular ecology from learning about the science of lymphology. How lymphosizing work, once again, Dr. West believes a person is able to create an electrical field by moving up and down on the lymphosizer, a trampoline, just as a compass will tell you the magnet fields go around the earth from north to south. When you put an armature in the magnetic field, you convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. This is why we are an electrical being. This is the process that makes electrical generators, sodium potassium pump in the cells. As the body moves up and down through this magnetic field, it acts as an armature and it generates electricity going up and down. Dr. West also believed that electrical energy produced could magnify the thought wave, and a person could mentally direct that energy into any area of his or her body as they desired. This discovery will increase the circulation and help to relieve pain and cause healing to take place, as we are learning the formula that I shared with you in the prior 2 episodes of Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation Radio Show. You may want to go back and listen to those shows or join the group Lymphatic Wellness on Facebook so that you can be a part of the community that is becoming their own wellness doctor. Take a moment, take a deep breath. think about these things as I share with you the science of lymphology, cellular ecology, quantum health and healing, stepping up out of the dark ages of disease care, using the modern apparatus so you can be in charge of your own health care. You know what? You can be doing those wellness exams yourself. We are more than just our blood field. So if we keep everything else in line, that blood will stay purified and you know how things are truly working. So family, community, and friends, take a deep breath. Stay aboard the friendship train. Invite a friend as we explore the science of lymphology, cellular ecology, the understanding of quantum physics, how all this information applies into our body, and how we can be our own wellness doctor by understanding the energetic fields of life and how they work in alignment with who we are. The best field of medicine and understanding coming from learning the science of lymphology. It explains about why and how every element is associated with inflammation. We must allow the lymphatic vessels to do their job. That is why we have more lymphatic vessels in the body than blood vessels, because everything must be purified. We see that through nature. We see that through the way we live in our homes. We see that through the way that we nourish and take care of our physical body. Everything must be in a purified state for it to work at its most optimal level. And that way, we will have less cellular malfunctions. We definitely won't be looking at our human body as a diseased being. We understand that we're thankful for the categories. Or maybe they allow us to look into that area to see if there's something happening that we need to help adjust. So that's why I say come study the science of lymphology with me and become your own wellness doctor. As we step into next month, April being Conscious Self-Healthcare and Lymphatic Cellular Wellness Month. Self-love heals the deepest wounds of the body, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Self-love heals the deepest wounds, nourishing the energetic being that we are and understanding that everything vibrates and nothing rests, and that we give direction to the chemical reactions within our body, that we can control and manage, maintain the balanced level of fluids so that we won't create stagnations, we won't have that stagnated pond, and everything will function in a well, cohesive manner through our lifetime, that we can live to be 115 plus and have all faculties and go to sleep and just don't wake back up in this particular realm of life. So thank you for joining me on the friendship train. Listen to this energetically speaking conversation. I'm really excited about next month coming in, and we're having our panel radio show, and we're honoring life itself this year with all the awards going to everyone that walks the earth, that moved through this pandemic of a focused and intentional lie on the human race, to see how much fear they could put into you, to give them the power over you, to say that you have no governing power over how your body functions and the energetic vibrations you have, how they help and support you to live a better life as a human being on planet Earth. I want you to sit back and listen to the words of the song by the one and only Prince Roger Nelson. When Prince made his transition in April of 2016, right after that, I heard the energetic vibration. I heard it reading and speaking and flashing to me mentally. Death, dying, disease, deception, and pain. Death, dying, disease, deception, and pain. 4 D's and a P. Who's talking to me? Prince Rogers Nelson. Can anybody hear me? Deliver the message about death, about dying, about disease, and the deception of it all, and pain.
the pain and hurt that people feel because somebody want to take away their ability to be their own healer. So the workshop that I do this year is in honor of the 11th anniversary of Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day. The ebook will be coming out soon. Death, Dying, Disease, Deception, and Pain. 4 Ds and a P series for conscious self-healthcare, making conscious self-healthcare moves by Reverend Karen Khadija Abdul-Malik Davis-Foulks, a guide to being your own wellness doctor. So sit back, family. Take your deep breaths. Thank you for joining me on this friendship train as I share with you the words of the one song from Prince Rogers Nelson. And then we will hear the actual song and our songs for today. Thank you. Take a deep breath. Honor yourself. Love yourself. And thank you for sharing this message with a friend. So visit my YouTube channel for past shows. Peace, love, and harmony. Because I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with myself. Peace and love, family.
Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnosis are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain, not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, www.celllife.com. Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your NES Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website celllife.com, the number 4celllife.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation, 202-248-7749. Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified anthologist and NES healthcare provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web for celllife.com. The number 4, the words cell, CELLLIFE.com. Hey, We got to help one another. Health education for longevity and peace. Health education for longevity and peace will carry you a long, 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 long way. You will have a smile in your heart when you walk upon these cellular malfunctions, no matter what the name of it is, no matter what you've gone through. You can sit back, like right now. Let's sit back and let's take a deep, 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 deep breath.
1999, and the illusion continues. One begs to ask, when will it end? Unnatural disasters happen seemingly every week. Train crashes, shootings, nuclear accidents. Is there any place of refuge one can flee from this insanity? Very few of mankind's creations are designed to make you feel good. Unless you get pleasure from seeing the human body desecrated by guns, explosions, fights, and any other thing these so-called artists create. In the name of freedom, many have used art as a means to destroy the human mind. As an excuse to continue, we hear art reflects society. How many times has this lie been repeated? Creations are not real. They say, and yet any one of these people can call to mind images and complete scenes of horror and graphic detail. They will carry these so-called unreal conditions around with them for the rest of their lives. These images are now a part of their being. In the name of recreation, these people in fact are recreating themselves in their own images. Society then reflects art. In man's decision to further separate from God, his recreation of himself leaves him in the dysfunctional state of confusion. The mind becomes a burial ground for dead waste, isolated from the wholeness of God, earth, and his fellow brothers and sisters. This man seeks solace in activities he thinks will stimulate his mind. He begins downloading into the brain a series of man-made creations designed to destroy it. All man-made creations originate from one of two sources: the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. One of these trees contains deadly fruit, the other, fruit of everlasting life. The one who disregards this fact recreates himself and his kind into extinction. You are reading these words on a machine created by man. As you read, you hear a voice speaking to you, the words that you perceive. They make sense to you because you understand. Stand under the spell. The words are what binds the spell to your illusion. When you hear the truth, like a memory, you recognize it, and this recognition releases you from all illusions. Many languages are brilliant in their attempt to confuse you. Con meaning against, fuse meaning together. Words and their spell-binding illusions have the power to keep man separate from God. You were born in an all-knowing state of mind. You were born in an all-knowing state of mind. The first words spoken to you begin the spell. The words come from one of two sources: the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. In ignorance or simply lack of respect for God. Many use words that confuses the minds of humans and turn them into projections of their own illusions. Because of this fact, many people grow up blindly assume their pre-selected role under a dictatorship without even being aware of it. When asked what they are doing here on earth, most will answer with statements that do not reflect the natural God-given desires. This creates a pyramid-like structure with the dictator on top and each level under it knowing less and less. Upon reaching the bottom level, which is where the majority is, you will find chaos, disorder, and illusion. With ill as its prefix, illusion is a state of insanity. In the name of democracy, the supreme power is vested unto the people in this insane state instead of God. A future recreated to be ruled by man is one of isolation and despair. Returning the leadership back into God would allow mankind to achieve its original collective goal, which is union with God. Ideas contrary to this goal should not be blamed or persecuted, just simply ignored. They originated when man first chose to ignore God's rules. Simply put, in the beginning, the human was made perfect in God's image. They had no need for knowledge. They were also given freedom of choice. The tree of knowledge and the tree of life are reflections of this freedom. The human is now a reflection of their choice. They could have simply chose not to choose. God being centrifugal in nature, freedom was the cause and choice was the effect. In knowing their perfection made in God's image, there was no need to choose. In fact, there were no needs. There was only love in an all-knowing state before the fall. The worst thing you can do is give up your God-given right to choose, for in it you can choose not to choose. And it's the final judgment. The illusion ceases and you awaken from your dream. And now the healing begins. With an all-knowing mind made in God's image, you create as your creator. God intended, with love, honor, and respect for every living thing in the universe. Separation ceases and we all become one being, singing the one song. Within an all-knowing mind made in God's image, you create as a creator. You create as your creator. God intended, with love, honor, and respect for every living thing in the universe. Separation ceases, and we all become one being, singing the one song. I am the universe, the sun, the moon, and the sea. I am the energy, for that is what I believe. I can be contradiction 'cause that is all I see. But I am the universe, and the universe is me. I am the one song, oh yes, and that one song is free. All things come from this one song. Yes, they do. The garden and the tree. If everything is present, what is will always be. This here is the first and the last song, and all that come between. When language falls like a wounded soldier and is covered by the sea, all the sadness, all these unanswered questions keep me company, 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 company. Come to me, please. Here at the center of it all, I know that you can only come to me. I am the universe. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. The sun, the moon, and the sea. Where else is it gonna come from but me? I am the universe. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. I am the universe. The universe is me. I am the universe, the sun, the moon, and the sea. I am the universe. Family, community, and friends, we are the universe. The universe is me. One truth, one truth. One song, one song. One energy, one energy. One energy, one energy. It's life, is you and me. The one song by the symbol of life, former name Prince Nelson Roger, gave us the words to one song. And in 1999, family community, it's time to sit back and love yourself and honor yourself. Speak truth to thyself. And know self-love, self-care, self-respect, self-worth, self-knowledge, all wrapped in self-assurance, will take you where you need to be. Hold tight to your truths. Hold tight to your understanding. Hold tight to the I am that I am. I am the universe, and the universe is me. Thank you, family, for listening to the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation Radio Show. I'm your host, Karen Khadijah Abdul-Malik, Davis-Foulks. We'll be right back with you. Close out the show with my last talk, and then we will listen to some music. You know, we got to sit back and listen to our music, family. We got to become in unity, taking those deep, deep breaths, supporting the lymphatic system, energizing our bodies, circulating our blood, and honoring thyself. Peace and love.
1999, and the illusion continues. One begs to ask, when will it end? Unnatural disasters happen seemingly every week. Train crashes, shootings, nuclear accidents. Is there any place of refuge one can flee from this insanity? Very few of mankind's creations are designed to make you feel good, unless you get pleasure from seeing the human body desecrated by guns, explosions, fights, and any other things these so-called artists create. In the name of freedom, many have used art as a means to destroy the human mind. As an excuse to continue, we hear, art reflects society. How many times has this lie been repeated? Creations are not real, they say, and yet any one of these people can call to mind images and complete scenes of horror in graphic detail. They will carry these so-called unreal creations around with them for the rest of their lives. These images are now a part of their being. In the name of recreation, these people in fact are recreating themselves, and their own images. Society then reflects art. In man's decision to further separate from God, his recreation of himself leaves him in a dysfunctional state of confusion. The mind becomes a burial ground for dead waste. Isolated from the wholeness of God, earth, and his fellow brothers and sisters, this man seeks solace in activities he thinks will stimulate his mind. He then begins downloading into his brain a series of man-made creations designed to destroy it. All man-made creations originate from one of two sources: the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. One of these trees contains deadly fruit, the other, fruit of everlasting life. The one who disregards this fact recreates himself and his kind into extinction. You are reading these words on a machine created by man. As you read, you hear a voice speaking to you the words that you perceive. They make sense to you because you understand. Stand under the spelling. The words are what binds the spell to your illusion. When you hear the truth, like a memory, you recognize it, and this recognition releases you from all illusion. Many languages are brilliant in their attempt to confuse you. Con meaning against, fuse meaning together. Words in their spell-binding illusions have the power to keep man separate from God. You were born in an all-knowing state of mind. The first words spoken to you begin the spell. The words come from one of two sources: the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. In ignorance or simply lack of respect for God, many use words that confuse the minds of humans and turn them into projections of their own illusions. Because of this fact, many people grow up and blindly assume their pre-selected role under a dictatorship without even being aware of it. When asked what they are doing here on earth, most will answer with statements that do not reflect their natural God-given desires. This creates a pyramid-like structure with the dictator on top and each level under it knowing less and less. Upon reaching the bottom level, which is where the majority is, you will find chaos, disorder, and illusion. With ill as its prefix, illusion is a state of insanity. In the name of democracy, supreme power is vested unto the people in this insane state instead of God. A future recreated to be ruled by man is one of isolation and despair. Returning the leadership back into God will allow mankind to achieve its original collective goal, which is union with God. Ideas contrary to this goal should not be blamed or persecuted, just simply ignored. They originated when man first chose to ignore God's rule. Simply put, in the beginning the human was made perfect in God's image. They had no need for knowledge. They were also given freedom of choice. The tree of knowledge and the tree of life are reflections of this freedom. The human is now a reflection of their choice. They could have simply chose not to choose. God being centrifugal in nature, freedom was the cause and choice was the effect. In knowing their perfection made in God's image, there was no need to choose. In fact, there were no needs. There was only love in an all-knowing state before the fall. The worst thing you can do is give up your God-given right to choose. For in it, you can choose not to choose. Therein is the final judgment. The illusion ceases, and you awaken from your dream. Now the healing begins. With an all-knowing mind made in God's image, you can create as your creator, God intended. With love, honor, and respect for every living thing in the universe. Separation ceases, and we all become one being, singing the one song.
I am the universe, the sun, the moon, and the sea. I am the energy, that is what This is me. I am the one song. Yes, and that one song is free. All things come from this one song. The garden and the tree. Everything is present. What is will always be. This is the first and the last song, and all that come between. When language falls like a wounded soldier, and it's covered by the sea, all the sadness, all the unanswered questions keep me company. Company, company, come to me, baby. Here at the center of it all, I know you come from me. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Where else is it gonna come from?
Wow, family, that was a great show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation Radio Show right here on NLI Radio. It was a pleasure having you tuning in. Now, you must tell a friend to tune in. And if you haven't called in and shared your wellness story, don't you think it's time that you help somebody with your wellness story? Call in, share your story, join the conversation. I'm Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, and I invite you to visit my website, ConsciousSelfCare.com. Or you can just go to the number 4, the word CELL.
Peace. Light. Love.